Hi folks, I hope you're well. So, this video will be starting on the point that, yeah, we now got season 2 of House of David has started. At the start of the episodes, it tells you that they are partly historical and biblical, but they've added their bits for the purpose of storytelling. So it's not completely. It's basically a watered down version of truth, so therefore it's not truth. Problem is, this is another area where the devil gets victories. Because the devil gets people to believe that these things are truth. And they are completely biblical. Like the Chosen, they believe that that's completely biblical. But it's not. It's not. We're saying the Chosen, one thing that was absolutely out of order, they had Peter's wife, having a miscarriage. Yet we see none of that in the Word of God. They've added a story about how the Lord couldn't care less about Peter and his wife losing a child. How at no point in it does the Lord actually speak to Peter about this or his wife. They're left to just deal with it. Why? Because it never happens. You can't have the Lord speaking to Peter about that happening, or them losing a child, and putting words in the Lord's mouth when he never actually said something. So therefore they create stories and leave it completely open. Yeah. Well, Thomas and his fiancée. Again, I don't remember that being in the Word of God. Now, can I say absolutely and totally it wasn't? No. But I'm pretty 90%, 99.999% sure it wasn't. And again, just another story for the purposes of storytelling. But people will therefore believe that that is accurate, that that is truth. I don't know what Amber there was eating, but something. They find bits of apple and whatever down. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah. It's like the soldier. In the Bible, we have the soldier who comes to Christ and says, you don't need to come, just say the word. And that's seen as incredible faith, because this man is a soldier. He wasn't, as far as we know, he wasn't fully aware of healing ministries and stuff like that. But then, in The Chosen, this man turns out to be the man who was actually supervising Matthew and kept a close eye on Matthew. When is that biblical? No. No. But for the purpose of storytelling, they add something. But they take away, therefore. Because obviously, in the story of The Chosen, it doesn't look that surprising that the centurion looks at the Lord and understands he only has to say, he's witnessed so many miracles. He's witnessed a miracle in Matthew. But, from the purpose of truth, did that happen? No. At least not that we're told. And so the problem is, when they take liberties to add their own stuff from the purpose of storytelling, and you get people believing that this is biblical, they're perverting the truth by doing that. Now, of course, they say, but we put a disclaimer. Who reads that? Most people don't read that, do they? They just skip on to the actual... for me, I want to skip on to the start of the episode. I don't want to be mucking around watching the pre-start stuff. Even if it's talking, giving you the names of the people in it. I don't care. Start the program. I'm not watching the program to see who's in it. I'm watching the program to see the program. That's the case for most people. So yeah, come on, what? There's no reason at all. There's enough in there. And again, if you're going to do that, if you're going to do something like A Chosen, as I said, for me, do it from the point of after crucifixion. Because then it's about them. Before crucifixion, it's about Christ. After crucifixion, it's about them. It's about their walk. It's about them learning how to walk without the Son of God with them. Yes? Is it Amber there? She's a sweetheart. Beautiful doggy. Yeah, she was a... Well, Amber was a very sensitive dog. Yeah, with dogs you get different personalities. And she was a very sensitive little dog. Yeah. But she was often barky. Any dog, apart from puppies. She wouldn't bark at a puppy because she knew that pup was of no threat. But any dog that could be a threat to her or her family, then she would bark at them. She would tell them off. Tell them, excuse me. It was a situation that I had to try and deal with her. Not just dogs, but people as well. Yeah. Once she knew someone, she was okay with them. Once she knew a dog, she was okay with them. But yeah. Many dogs are like that. Once they know you, they're okay. But until they know you... Whereas with Molly, with Chewy, with Lucy, they were okay with every person, every dog. They didn't care. They were just okay with everyone. And with this Chewy there, and Riley, again, he was okay with everyone. He wasn't a barky dog at all. Not at all. Neither was Chewy, neither was Lucy, neither was Molly. They weren't barky in any way, shape or form. Amber was the first one I got that was barky. That would be shouting at other dogs and people. From their point of view. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, things like this, yeah. We have to be aware of how we are watering down and how we're doing stuff like that, because the reality is we've already got a situation in church where more than often the word of God gets watered down. Because more than often churches want to not offend. So there's already enough watered down stuff that's taught as truth, which it isn't. We lack truth. We have a lack of it. We've had this situation in society called my truth. And yeah, that seems to have replaced truth, and that seems to be good enough, as because the word truth is added. Yeah, even people in church use the my truth point. Yeah. It is, we are where we are. And yeah, I understand where some people say at least it's not, at least it's got some of God in it. I understand that, but yeah. To me, it's always the case, if you're going to do it properly, do it according to the Spirit of God and according to God's will, God's ways. And then, because I don't think, generally speaking, people are doing The Chosen and are doing House of David for the point of just doing a program. I think they're doing it because they want to glorify God in some way. But then they do it as a TV program, according to every TV program, where it's about storytelling rather than about truth. And yeah, truth is needed. Truth is what people need in their lives. So there you go. When you watch things like that, understand that truth is limited in these things. Alright? You take care. God bless. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.